Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, and we're back with another beach shot. Accidentally from the beach, killed the live. Simple rumble. I just had to end it and do it all over again. So we're back. Sorry for that. Come back and join us, and we'll have some fun. We're having some Wi-Fi issues as well. It's a little slow. Hopefully, it's not lagging for you. But hey, we're back on the front porch live, and we're going to be here for a while. So that was a quick check-in by Rob. He said the phone was going dead, and he got excited, as he should be. He's on the beach having fun. And next thing I know, the stream ended. So if you're out there and you wonder what happened, that's what happened. So come on back. And so I'm letting some people know what was going on. Killed the live, and we're back in. So, but we'll have a separate recording there of from the beach. And so I do want to show a couple of these pictures that he sent. He showed you the live shot. I've got to, if you did not see the video of him that he cut just about 30 minutes before we went live, maybe an hour, but I think it was about 35 minutes or something like that. This is the one I think I had on earlier. It just makes you feel like, yeah, I want to be there. The weather's nice. This is Panama City, and they're having some fun down there. There's the one that I just showed. And he also sent me this one. When it finally gets up there, like I said, it's taking just a minute. It was a little slow tonight. Hopefully that will clear. There we go. And so see a few people on the beach. And then lastly, we've got a nice little shot that we'll pull up, kind of looking down the beach. There's the hotels, condos, and all that stuff that are down there on the beach. So appreciate him sending that, as well as the video. Just got a little excited, I guess, and had a little accident there. Cook, good to see you, brother. And he's on there this morning, and we appreciate you being here. And we see some others maybe that'll be coming in. So Friday night is our front porch talking live. Sometimes we did a Sunday night last week. Had some fun with that. It was on for just a little over an hour. And so Rob needs to go and have fun, and I appreciate him checking in and spend time with family. And podcast will be here when he gets back. But we're both, we're just dedicated to it, and we want to have some fun and be there for the viewers. And I know he does as well. But just go have fun. But I appreciate him checking in. We do hope to get some underwater shots. Going to do a little snorkeling, so he's got the GoPro and stuff like that ready to go. And I hope that he can do that. So we'll get these pretty shots off of there. I know that you just really want to see me. No, not really. That's a nice scene right there. It really is. Makes you want to be there. So we're here, front porch. We're going to talk about whatever. We do want to bring up a handful of things as we kind of go tonight. And we may, and I need to send that. I've got an invite that I was going to send as well. And we might be joined in just a little bit by Tarman, Michael. And so appreciate him offering to come up. I don't know if he's out there yet. He usually hollers in. So hopefully so. And we probably lost a couple of folks as we got out rather suddenly. And I had to reset a couple of things pretty quick. Hey, it's when it's live, things happen. And so we just deal with it. Sometimes we've had storms, we've had everything. We've both gotten booted out before, and the other one kept going. So if this time he booted me out, both of us. So if I get booted out, I'll be back. We're keeping the live going. We'll just might have to reset the Rumble. I have to go in and set that up a little separately. But I hope you're having a great Friday. Hey, it's the weekend. Had a good Friday. Had a good morning show this morning. Hello, Daniel. You know what, Daniel? It's a special night. Rob's not here, and I'm just going to do it. Sugar britches. How about it, right? Hey, that's just for you, man. That's a Friday night special right there. Oh, we appreciate Daniel being here. He's going to be on a show with us, I think a week from tonight, actually. I think we're going to bring him up and let him say hello. But appreciate you being here, Daniel. And we'll put you there on the screen so you can see your comment. We got a few people popping in here. Appreciate the likes and loves and everything. We've picked up some followers today on Facebook. Appreciate you. Some folks that might be tuning in, and I didn't mean to put that up there. Sorry, running controls by myself tonight. So if I'm a little slow on the gun, it's I'm doing everything here alone, and sometimes it gets a little hectic. We'll run a few ads tonight as well. We've got a new one. Hey, we did our I hope you got to see the interview we did with Angie from Angie's Decatur Diner. We've been playing that. We're going to load that a few times. Talked to a business today that's struggling, a bookstore, and reached out to them and just said, hey, maybe we'll give you some help. We've got some local followers here, and they're over in the Trenton area, and they're going to call me Monday about it, and they're just fighting to survive. And we want to try to help them a little bit. So we're going to put a little attention on it. A friend of mine posted on Facebook. I reached out to them, and they just said they would love that. So they're going to come in and do an interview, and we're going to get them some attention. They're fighting to survive every day. I appreciated that they put the amount they needed every day that they're open. I think they're closed Sundays, that they needed every day to stay in business. And hey, I appreciate that. We've been focusing on small business for our Main Street USA and how tough it is right now for everybody. Those on fixed incomes, everybody's having a hard time surviving. These small businesses are the backbone of communities, and I know businesses close, and some people look cold and different about that. That's somebody's dreams. And hey, I like books, and you know what? There's another one in town, and I've gave them a lot of business, and I don't think it's going to hurt them. I hadn't been to the bookstore in a while. We're going to slide over there, do a promo, and we'll see if we can't give them some business while we're there. It's going to have to be first of next week. I may just leave work and go straight over there. I think they're open till 6 some nights, and I'm going to leave work and go over there on maybe Tuesday night. It's probably a better night because we've got no, Monday may be the better night actually, because we do have Mama said Monday, but it's a little later. And then Tuesday we've got a special interview we're going to be doing. That's going to be released on Saturday night, and I cannot wait for you to see this. We don't even. It's going to be great, and we haven't even done it yet. I'm just telling you, it's going to be great. So we've got interviews being lined up. We've got some businesses and stuff. We're going to be covering some community stuff. And if your business or community event would like some free pub, we'll blend it in with our other programming. We'll show it in the middle of programming. We'll post it up on all of our streams. And we'll try to help. I'm not saying it will, but we'll try. No cost. We're not charging anybody anything. Another big announcement we have, and I've got my John Wayne cup. I left my other cup, out there. So it's a John Wayne kind of night, right? Somebody got me this. Maybe I got it for myself. I like this right here. Got a little saying there, a man's got to have a code, a creed to live by. Amen to that. We sure do. If you don't like John Wayne, you probably won't like me. That's okay. We like the Duke. I like a lot of his movies and stuff. And we need the cowboy at the helm. We've got to get things turned around this country. So it's time to get round the cavalry up and get things going. But I was going to say, the store is up, and we haven't had time. We've just put the links up on most of the streams. There's still some we've got to work on. Thank you, Cook. It is a nice cup. I'm proud of it. I haven't drank out of it in a while. I felt bad. I said, Duke, I got to get you out and wash you off and make sure everything's good and put some hot coffee in here. I got a pot brewing. It's going to be that kind of night. Coffee night. Yeah, we usually do the coffees mainly in the mornings, or at least I do. But tonight is going to be a Friday night. We say get up, pray up, and coffee up in the mornings. I guess this is a Friday night coffee up on the front porch, or get you sweet tea. But about the store, and folks, listen, we're trying to keep the prices as low as we can. Things are high nowadays, and we did when all this money, whatever comes in, will just go to help the podcast. It's not for us. We're just trying to. It'll be for equipment, just to help get things done. But really, we just want this stuff to be in your hands so that you can. It's advertising for us basically, and we're going to get some stuff. We're going to give some stuff to some of our guests, so it's not like that. And like I said, ads we run for ARA, those are gifts. We don't charge for that. We just do this as a hobby. We're building a brand, sure. And who knows, maybe there's a day in the future. We've had people reach out to us, and we have someone wanting to do some advertising with us for some sunglasses, and they're supposed to be really good. A guy, friend Chris, has dealt with them before, and we're okay with that. If somebody wants to do that, we'll do that. But that's not the focus of our podcast. We just like to come on here and have fun, and it's a hobby. But there are expenses, for some of the things we do. So if we can do a little bit of that, and eventually maybe some of the streams will pay. We're not. There's no checks coming in the mail. So okay. So I think on Rumble we've made about 52 cents. So that I don't even know if I've seen that. It's just that's what it says. So we're here because we want to be here. We're not here trying to make money. We want to pray for you and help you come along. I was telling somebody today they joined the podcast. If you're listening, and they may be still working. Thanks for following today, and also joined the Cornbread Nation. They went to the Facebook site and joined the Cornbread Nation, and they said they thought it was all preaching. And I said, well, no, we do that. We do the Sunday morning devotion. We do the Sunday morning in the Word, and we're always about faith, but we do a lot of other things too. And so when I talked about Mama said, their eyes lit up and said, hey, that sounds interesting. So we've got some things going, and we'll talk about some of that tonight. Because again, it's a front porch. We can talk about whatever. And thanks for joining, and get you a cup of coffee and join with us. Again, Rob down there frolicking on the beach. I should have pulled that picture of him. Somebody put a wig on him today. I'll have to see if I can find that and throw it up in the stream later, one of the breaks or something. But Robert, I don't know if this was current or in the past, but I think probably was current because his sister and all was there, and they were having some fun. So it wasn't the flaming red hair. I think this was blonde hair that he put up on his Facebook or something. But thanks again for being here. What a week. It's been hey Candy, appreciate you locking and loving the show there. We've had a really strong week. We've just really been on top of the world. We're getting an interview with someone they made a movie about, and the movie's not even came out. We've been given access to that movie to watch. It's very powerful, and it has a local connection, as we've said, and we'll be announcing more about that this coming week. And it's just one of those. We get into some stuff that's really just, it really touches your heart, and it's emotional, and this is going to be one of those as well. When we were talking also about some new shows, and we're kind of still, we're not forgotten. In fact, one of those is going to debut this Sunday night. And if you're a member of the Cornbread Nation, you saw that weekend schedule I put out today, and this is going to be the debut. I'm getting over there where I can look at that for sure, because I put tonight's programming. When I put this together, we'd already done this morning's. Tomorrow, Pet of the Week, Veteran of the Week. By the way, I really want you, please, if you don't watch anything else, watch the pets and the veterans. The Pet of the Week. I think this Saturday is Cat Day, so it'd be a cat from ARA. Robert has already got that up and ready. Veteran of the Week is an interesting one. I reached out to some of his family that I saw posted online and let them know we're going to honor him. This man was slain in Vietnam. He was executed. His story is powerful. The very year that I was born, it's 1965. So very touching. We did a sports program earlier. It's recorded. We'll be scheduling it up for release tomorrow night. We're talking, for those that are sports fans, NFL, college, and some Braves. And probably in the next 2 weeks, we may be doing 2 sports shows, one college, one NFL, me, Cook, and whoever. That's going to happen. Then Sunday morning in the Word. Again, that moved to 8:30 because I'm doing it live. And I like it better like that. It's just a lot more personal to me, and I like doing that. If we were traveling or something, I might have to record that. But as often as I can, that'll be at 8:30. And if I'm scheduling, if I'd record it, it'll still just stay 8:30. That way you don't get bounced around. But 9 p.m. Sunday night, their new program. This has been in the works for a few weeks. I've been bouncing around. Really, it's something I felt significant about. Not early on, but it's something I've been thinking about, not with our podcast, but I have another one that I've sort of started building just as a ministry one, but it's kind of morphed into some other things, not competing. It's just something I do. But I decided to bring over some programming because I really feel very passionate about it. And so 9 p.m., this will be live. It's the SFP Southern Fried Podcast News Desk live. That will be at 9. That'll go for at least an hour. And this week's topic is obviously, we're going to be talking election 2024. And as a subtopic along with that, I'm going to talk about the rise of the MAGA movement. So we're going to go back and look in the past and talk about some of that. If you don't like MAGA, you may not want to watch. I mean, I'm not I'm just going to talk. It is a movement, and people have their feelings about it. But I do have a MAGA hat, and I've got a couple of Trump hats, and so I want to talk about that as a movement because I think that was. And I like looking at trends. I like looking at politics and things that happen. Me and Robert got in discussion the other night about where we're at as far as this election and the undecideds, and I said, yeah, undecided is whether they're going to vote or not. Of course, today, big news, RFK ended his run, and my understanding is he's joining with former President Trump. So it's getting down to the brass tacks, as they say, and moving towards that and very quickly towards the election. And this Sunday night will be to talk about election issues, kind of candidates, what they're up to, what they've been saying over the last few days, and looking at, again, the rise of the MAGA movement. It's powerful, very powerful. And if you're MAGA, you know that. It's recognized. That's why it's attacked so much for that and other reasons that they say. But if you're not causing them disturbance, they don't worry with you. I've always the great Adrian Rogers, the great pastor out of Memphis, he's with the Lord now, bless his heart. Love, if you've ever watched his stuff, love him. And he said something one time that I have never forgotten. And he said that we all should desire to be on the top 10 most wanted list of in hell, meaning that Satan says, go get this person. Top 10. That means you are really going after it. You're really, pressing and sharing the gospel, and you're leading people to Christ, and you're causing them so much grief in hell that they put you on the top 10 most wanted list. Well, if you're not, and I always say, if you're not being harassed, if you're not being attacked, by the forces of evil, probably not doing too much because they got you where they want you. So stay active, stay engaged, and you'll definitely see an attack come. That's just part of it. So definitely excited about talking about these things as we get closer and as we get into the election. Now, I will be working election day. I'm a precinct manager, a poll worker. If I do early voting, a precinct manager, assistant manager at my precinct. Been doing that for some time. I'm honored to do that as a citizen, something I've never did before. I've talked about that a little bit, but after we get busy with that long day, I'll probably come home and come on live. This will probably be around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'd say more like 11 on election night, and stay on for a little bit, and we'll talk about some of the things of the day. There'll be other races. By that time, a lot of things will be known. Don't know if the president will be known or not. Probably not. Lawyers are waiting, right? But I will be talking about some of those things and give you I'll be wore out. That's okay. You have the coffee. And, but I will tell you kind of how things went at our precinct and then just talk about the election results. We'll keep those going as we see them, and kind of talk about those races. And as it's leading up, we'll talk about some of the races and what's going on with that as we look at those ballots and stuff. So we appreciate everybody that votes. Appreciate everybody that stays engaged in the election process. If you're not voting and you're eligible, please vote. If you're not registered to vote, but and you can, some people cannot due to issues they've had in their life. I understand that. If you're eligible to vote, if you've got to register, please register. Become active in that. If you need an absentee ballot, all those things are available, and reach out to the election headquarters in your county, wherever you are, in whatever state you reside in. And you know what? I'm not saying vote for somebody right now. What I'm saying is vote. We have freedom here, and it's a blessing. And so Just be active in it. Contact these candidates. Talk to them about their platforms, email them, go visit their town halls, their press conferences, their breakfasts. There's all kind of ways to reach out and do that. Visit your political, whatever it may be, slant, whatever political party you are. Visit your local county meetings. Get involved that way. You have to join, obviously, to make be active in it as far as speaking or whatever, probably. But get involved with that. Know who your senator is and who your representatives are. Know who your county commissioners are. The chairman of the commissioners, unless it's a sole commissioner. I think in Georgia there's only one left, a sole commissioner. Most of them are boards. Know who your school board is. Know those people. You vote on it. Your judges, all those people. And people get out. We see it all the time. They get in. They go, I don't know these people. Get to know them and have an opinion on that. And that's how a lot of times people get voted. Nobody who they are. They just vote for a name. They just say, well, that name sounded better, or they just don't vote at all for that office because they don't know who it is. But get active that way. Anyway, moving along. If you want to talk elections, we can talk about it. But I did want to say that. So, interviews coming up, news show for the Southern Fried Podcast coming up. And we're excited about that. More businesses that we're going to highlight and interview some of those owners and talk to them. This is real America, real small town America, and get to know these people in our communities. We've got 4 or 5 active all across the state. We did one in Tennessee. We're doing some in Georgia. We'll do it from whatever state. I don't care. We try to visit those. Obviously, if it's in Hawaii, sorry, I can't visit right now. But come on, tell us about your business. As long as it's not something controversial, as far as not family oriented, we'll cover it. Your community events. You're trying to build your business up, get your name out there. That's always a challenge, right? Again, don't know if we can help. We'll try. We will try. So Friday night, I hope you got great plans for the weekend. There is a college football game tomorrow, Florida State and Georgia Tech, 12 p.m. kickoff, I believe that is. Enjoy that if you're into college football. Excited about that. Preseason football is going on. We have obviously the playoffs are going on. The Braves, or the soon-to-be playoffs. Excuse me, I didn't mean to get ahead of myself. But we have positioning in who's going to be in the playoffs. Who's going to be the wild card. And so, by the way, it's preseason. I'm glad because the Jaguars are smoking the Falcons right now, 21-0. Oh, I'm glad it's preseason. And the Braves are losing 2-1. It's a mid-fifth. Come on, Braves. Come on, get with it now. We need you to win, and we need the Phillies to lose. They were playing a little tougher matchup, but we're the one losing. So goes baseball. Phillies are losing by 1 to the Royals, and the Mets come on in just about an hour and 10. So we'll try to monitor that as we go along. Wi-Fi improving a little bit. We're thankful. I hope I've not been lagging, but we're just things are crazy. Yes, preseason is up. Talked about some of those issues in the sports program that are released tomorrow night. Cook, sorry you couldn't be with us, but you'll make it for the next one. And so we've got some preseason tonight, tomorrow, maybe even into Sunday. Then they're getting ready for the first games. Ravens in Kansas City, I believe that first game, if I remember right. Talking about that, so we'll try to keep up with. That. Actually, and believe it or not, on this last preseason game, the Jaguars are playing their starters. Don't know if the Falcons did, but Taylor and ETN, they're just sound like they're walking the dog on the Falcons right now in the preseason. Cook, are they going to sign CeeDee Lamb down in Dallas? Need to know that. It is getting down time that they need to get him signed. He's going to have to pay a lot of money. Jerry's going to have to come off that money. We talked about some of the signings and stuff for some of these players. Hey, a center getting $72 million. Who would have figured? We talked about that tonight. Friday night on the front porch, get you sweet tea. We already got a good start. I do want to show this video, and I hope that it will not mess up. I was waiting, and we have improved on Wi-Fi. Just sometimes that stuff happens. But I don't know if everybody saw this quick video that that Rob sent, and let me get to that and see if I can show that. And not much from what we saw, but he did send it. Let's see if we can play that.
Trying to something. Hi there. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I have arrived. Look back behind me there. You see all that ocean water out there? Yeah, I'm here. And that's all ocean water right behind me. I don't want to look at you. And look here. There's my sister. Oop, got to turn the camera the right way. And my brother back there behind her there. Yeah. I'm not real good at driving this thing backwards. You all know that. You're not good at driving. That's true. And then we go one more look at the beach. For all y'all to be jealous. And yeah, we're thinking about you. David, I'm not gonna be there tonight, so don't hold your breath waiting on me. All right. Love y'all. God bless. Talk to you later.
But he did make it in for a few minutes till the phone was dying, and then we accidentally killed the live and restarted it. So hopefully you're in there now, and if not, hopefully you'll be there soon. And come up on the front porch and let's talk a little bit about it and enjoy this Friday night as we go on Friday nights. People start joining in later and later we go. So we moved it to 8. We want to get some folks in here and see how it's going in your world. Again, talking about what's going on for the weekend. And we got some hotter temperatures coming back. You know, this cooler weather at night. It's kind of spoiled us. I seen people getting their jackets out. My granddaughter, she was pulling their jackets out in the morning. It's not jacket weather yet, but that's the thing. I've seen somebody. Have you seen these people that walk around in the middle of 96, 97 degrees and they're wearing the hoodies and the jackets and shorts with like flip flops? I guess they're just cold natured people. I'm sorry. I'm a big old boy. Not going there. I'm not going to the hoodie and the jacket in the middle of summer. But hey, if that's your gig, that's your gig. We're good with it. Enjoy that, but no, I got to breathe, man. I can't handle that. I like jacket weather, like sweater weather. I'm more of a jacket guy, not really a sweater. I've never been a sweater dude. I like jackets, lightweight jackets. I don't like to wear heavy stuff unless it's just extremely cold and I have to. I don't like being confined like that. So I'll wear like a couple of shirts and I'll throw on a light jacket and just try to get to the car and get the heat on. So I guess if I was traveling, I would make sure I had something thicker. But that's when it gets really cold. It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be way below freezing for me to do that. People like, "Ain't you cold?" And I'm like, "No, I got a lot of layers." The outerwear is just helping the skin because I got a lot of that and big old boy and able to get through. I normally, unless I'm having to work outside and it's real windy, that's a different matter because windbreakers and stuff not going to cut it. But I'm not one. I don't like it. I mean, them people that wear them real heavy overalls and stuff, like I mean, they get in like they're working on a car. They got the Carhartt and stuff. Those things get hot. And I'm thinking, I'm not doing that. If I was working outside, yeah, but just to go to town and all that stuff, that's not my gig. That's not what I'm going to do. So, how about you? Do you like getting hot? I don't. Robert said he would like it to be warm so he could be at the beach like he's doing now. I actually prefer the cooler weather, not cold, but cooler because I do like doing jacket weather. That's a fun time for me. I like the extra pockets too. I'm just like the pockets, and I don't like putting things in my pants pocket, and it's poking my leg. I like having when I get to the weather, I can wear a jacket and I've got the pockets. I'm happy. Throw my keys and stuff in there, and I'm good. So I guess that's me now. Maybe I've changed. When I was young, probably did a lot of different things. I'm sure I did as I think back, but yeah, I don't like the hot weather, and we're going to have another blast of it. We're talking about up here in North Georgia, 96, I think one day, 94. Then it's going to kind of come back down. So that last blast of August is going to hit us right between the eyes, and then we get into September to be warm, and then we'll start cooling off. I'm ready for the nights to be in the 50s with a slight breeze. Yeah, that's That's what I want to see. I want to see something like that. I got some comments here. Let me get a comment here. Let's see. Cook, he's commenting on my comment about his boy. Oh, so Jerry waited for this to the season for Emmitt Smith. So he does do that. You know, the rich play with their money and they wait, and then I don't know, they make so much money with that team. Of course, I know there's a salary cap, and they're trying not to give too much to one because that hurts them on another. But you know, they got those people that are the experts on working the salary cap and how to do signing bonuses and all that stuff as they go forward. So, I mean, come on, it's rich man's game, billionaires. I don't know if anybody's a millionaire anymore that owns a team in the professional leagues. You got to be billionaire now. And they make a lot of money. I mean, the money that comes back from TV is incredible to all the teams, and so you can be a horrible team and make a lot of money. I mean, it's sad to say, and some of them just play like that. They don't even try, and they're horrible every year. So yeah, Cook, I know you're hoping because you don't want to start the season. I can't remember who your first game is, but you need him in there and need him to be performing. I get it. So yeah. Sorry, just have to have me take breaks from my coffee tonight as we go. The Democrat, I guess the DNC has ended. Does that go on again tonight? I don't think they do Friday nights. I didn't. I didn't. But the big news again was yesterday, and then RFK does make to the Trump rally, and another big news item is here in Georgia. It seems as though they're going to play nice for the good of the election and everything on the Republican side. President Trump and Governor Kemp in Georgia, I believe that Kemp was on Hannity, if I remember that right, and said he was supporting the ticket from top to bottom, would support Trump, and Trump came out and got in behind that. And so, I don't think there'll ever be any love lost between the two. They'll write books about it one day and tell all the behind the scenes stuff that hasn't been told, if there's anything left. And they'll talk about, oh, it's the Cleveland Browns. Okay, interesting first game for you, Cookie. But yeah, it's election season. People want to get elected. So the one I'm waiting on is, and I'm not excited. I mean, not excited. It's not the word. I'm not surprised at this. Honestly, I figured at some point he's probably going to get a position or something. But will he reach out to Nikki Haley and try to pull her in and try to swing some of her voters his way? It's not a guarantee that they would, but she had a lot of followers, a lot of voters. And then, like I said, the undecideds in the main states that are very close, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, states like that, Ohio, the undecideds. I'm calling undecided. There are undecideds that don't know yet, but come on, really by now? I think the undecideds are undecided whether they're going to vote or not. So we'll be talking about that Sunday night in our news desk, and looking forward to that. So get out and do some things tomorrow. By the way, I wanted to mention, I went to a movie last night called The Forge. I don't know if any of you have seen that. It's another one of those faith-based movies. I don't take the kids or myself to see anything that I wouldn't. It's not family friendly. And it was not, I try to go when it's not extremely crowded. There was a few people there, but very powerful movie by the Kendrick brothers. They did the movie Courageous, and I can't remember the names of the others. Somebody will pop that in the chat maybe and let me know. But they're definitely, they're very good at this. And one of the characters for sure, the older lady who prays, she shows up again. I can't remember her name in this particular, her real life name, but I think they kept even the name of it in the movies. She's a prayer warrior and everything. And this was a really good movie. I mean, it just said, my wife was glued. She told me, she said, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, and sometimes she could get bored during a movie and get to looking around, until something good's going on. She stayed in this movie from front to back, and she would say that if she was on here, she's camera shy, she's not going to come on, but she does come in here and say chat, and she'll see post up a thumbs up or something. But She, if you hear my dog in the background, Kaylee's dog in the background, I think people are moving around and she gets to barking, so I apologize. But if you have a dog, you just know that right? So, you get, you get into these movies and you just don't know. You're hoping that it'll be, something that you didn't waste your money. Movies are hot to go to now. And, you try to, um, take your family to something. It's hard anymore. And of course, you got previews you're looking at, but this was really solid. Dealing with teenagers wasn't the easiest thing, but at the end, we talked about the moving around and stuff that they did. But we talked about what did you learn? Is there something about the movie that you really liked? And they all got the major theme of the movie. They saw where this where this young man was, the main character in the movie, and kind of what was going on in his life. And then getting to where he needed to be with God, and that's the journey. And man, it had some twists and turns, and it was really good. It's real life, and it's moms, and it's family relational things. It's brokenness. It's salvation. But the Forge, if you have not seen that, I'm not going to talk about the movie because I hate it when people do that. As far as how it went, I'm just giving you the major themes of the movie, but take your family there. And what I wanted to say lastly about this movie, The Forge, and I think I had seen a little bit about it, but I really just went online. I said, seeing what movies were there. I was going down the list. I'm like, nope, 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 maybe, nope. Wait a minute, what's this one? And got down the list and saw it. Here in my town, it's 10 theaters there. So it was one of the 10, and I think it was probably number 6 or 7 I got down to. And I said, that's the one. And they're like, what are we going to see? And so they didn't have a choice. I just told them. And we got in there and had a good time. But at the end of the movie, if you've been to a movie like this, you'll know what I'm talking about. A lot of movies, people get to the end, they laugh, or they just get up, they're rumbling around, leaving and all this. This is one of those movies where people sit for a minute and actually watched the credits, and I was glad they did because there was another scene that they showed. And then the Kendrick brothers come out and talked about paying for a ticket so somebody else could go. But what I wanted to say is the audience clapped at the end. You've been to something good when some people are doing that. And I think most of the people I think one other couple that was a little young maybe had a child. But most of these were older folks, conservative, obviously Christians, I'm sure, just guessing. And they loved it. And so Kendrick Brothers, you got the seal of approval on the movie. Very, very powerful. And it was impactful to me. And I don't want to say that about movies at all, because I think that the movies are horrible nowadays, most TV shows. And I'd say, a lot of Christians don't even watch any of that. And I get it. I don't. But if you're looking for something, or you wait till things go to streaming and I used to say to video, right? But to streaming, and you want to, watch it on your phone or cast it to your TV or however you do that at home, make time for this one. Again, the model is good on this, and get some young people to watch it. I think this is a kind of movie where it's not just for young people, it's for adults too, but it's for brokenness. It's for you praying for your kids. Kids are trying to find their way. Friends are helping. There's some humor in it, and it checks all the boxes for me. So, it's not an action movie or like that, but it does have some scenes that are, kind of get you going a little bit. But it's just one of those, it's emotional. It's a couple of times that I cried during the movie, and you can't help but think about those in your life, and maybe struggles you've been through, and you go through, and you're battling. You're just battling. I mean, that's what it is. Life is tough, right? And you're battling, praying over your children. And I know people whose kids they're incarcerated right now. It's tough. It's very tough. I had some kids tell me today that I'm very close to that, hey, we know the release date on her dad. And those are tough things, to think about. And of course, we've been praying with them all along the way. And I think that helped, even though it's just been tough. Thank you, Cook, for that comment. This has been tough on them, but knowing that they can see the time, that he'll be coming home, or at least making that way. I don't know if there's full release or halfway or whatever, but you just pray for people. And a lot of people been there. A lot of people in America, there's not hardly any family, if any, that's not affected by the drugs, people incarcerated, people struggling with their lives. We know what that's like. And yes, mom's prayer is strong. And we need some dads to be strong. That's what I love. And I won't talk about the movie, but it as I said, it checks all the boxes. And we need some men of God to stand up and mentor and help these young men through. We need those praying moms, praying grandmas, praying friends, praying churches and pastors, and we need a revival unlike we've ever seen in this country for sure. We talk about around the world and all the stuff going on there. We got so much stuff going on here. We got enough to keep us praying until Jesus comes back. I mean, a lot. I mean, our society's ripping apart, and God is in control. And I know that some people really don't look like it. Well, He's in control. He'll get the glory in the end, the victory, and things that are happening we don't understand. The devil is still very active, obviously, at this time, but there's end time things that are coming, and they're going to we're going to see a lot that's going to happen as we get closer to the end times. We're in the end times of the church age, but as we get into the end time events, tribulation, we get closer to that. You're going to see a lot of things. Devil's going to get his. Yeah, he's going to get his. It's coming. And all these things are going to, we're going to see victory at the end. We've got victory in Jesus. So that's good on the front porch. I can see people saying that on the front porch and saying, singing that. By the way, a lot of churches start on front and back porches. They do. They start out a little singing, somebody sharing the word. Next thing you know, somebody says, "Hey, I think we got a church here." And I know a lot of churches have started that way. So it's good to be here with you. Pray for Rob. You notice what he said. He said it's been over a year since he's been to the beach. Because just a little over a year ago. Just a little over a year ago, he had his heart surgery. So it's a big weekend for him. My dog is missing my granddaughter right now. And so I'm sorry if during a break, I'm going to see if I can't comfort her a little bit. As far as I'm not sure that I'm the best comfort, but so if you hear barking, I apologize. We're going to play a commercial in just a minute. I want to play a couple. We've got a new one, and some of you have seen it, some of you have not. But I do want to play that because it's for one of our programs. It's our newest one. And I do want to do the promo for Angie. I told her we would continue running. We're not going to run the interview right now, obviously, but let me do the really quick. Let me do the promo for Angie's Diner up in Decatur. If you're in the area, please stop in, help these folks with small business. She was fantastic as an interview. Then I want to play Mama Said, and we'll do ARA, take a quick break, and we'll be right back. But let's show these real quick. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. As part of our Main Street program, we're highlighting businesses in small-town America. This week, we're interviewing Angie from Angie's Decatur Diner. Tune in to hear her interview. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we ask you to join us each Monday night for one of our very special programs, Mama Said. About 7 p.m. each Monday, we'll be talking about those things that Mama has said, or does say, or that we just remember that she said for those of us who have lost our moms. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes we think of the things that we did that made our moms mad. Sometimes we think of those things we wish we could hear Mama say again. Even when she was telling us to go get the hickory. Hey, we loved our moms, and we appreciate all the things that Mama said. This is one of the things that the Southern Fried Podcast is built its foundation on, was programs like this, Mama Said. So join us. Send us those notes of what your mama said. Maybe she said some things that are a little different than what our mom said. We'd like to include that in the program. We're thankful for our moms. God was good to us to give us the wonderful gift of moms in our life. So join us each Monday night for the Southern Fried Podcast. Very special program, Mama Said. Thank you so much for watching. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. And we're back. Thank you for being patient through those. We just want to talk about some of our programming and also talk about those small businesses and ARA. Got a nice note from ARA, Animal Rescue Alliance, for the donation that I gave. I'm not bragging on me, but it was really nice from the director of the rescue, and it's just very nice. I appreciate that. It wasn't one of those, rubber stamp kind of things. Nothing wrong with that. I understand they're busy, but this was a personal appreciation, and I thankful for that. I didn't expect that, but it's nice, and they're wonderful people, and we say that a lot, but it's true. And we had said we wanted to do Pet of the Week, and it just so happened this facility was right down the road from Rob. And it just worked out, and it worked out to be a wonderful partnership. And they've helped us in many ways as a new startup podcast getting off the ground. And I hope that we've been able to help them. They said donations are up, and adoptions are still happening, and we hope to see that get better. But donations have came up. Things that people's brought and money are up, and that's helping. So I hope that that's an effect of us. But if not, we're going to keep plugging away and showing those animals. That's become Rob's thing. So you see him on there more. I'm very involved, but with all the programming we do, sometimes we take things and we kind of split that up. And that was just a natural for Rob to do. He's great at it. I watch every one. And sometimes we'll probably be together. We're talking about coming together and doing a live for ARA here in the near future. Really, I'd already planned to have it done and just have a live and talk about a lot of the animals and stuff. And may have some guests. We recorded before, but we may do a live and just invite them to come and jump in, and some of their supporters. And we'll do that on some night when they can get in here. And they're all over the country, but we'll probably do that. But it's great. And Rob does a great job with the pets. And then I do the Veteran of the Week. In absence or something, we try to put it up ahead of time. Like Rob's going to the beach, we know we've got to do that. We'll go ahead and get those things ready. And but we're here to support each other. And I want to put this back up. Thank you. It's my favorite song, "Victory in Jesus." And yes, page 120 in the old Redback hymnal. Great song, right? We'll talk about that for a few minutes. Right after I say this. But there's some things I do like sports, and Rob may join us, but that's me and Cook's corner of this podcast world. We do obviously morning shows together, and the news shows and the Front Porch and all that. And Mama Said, but the news show would probably, he may jump in some, but that's probably more me. And so we just find our niche, and they're Cook and Rob are talking about a winter gardening show. So that's cool. So we do a lot of different kinds of stuff like that. Cook, you've got me perplexed, and I keep thinking I missed something. Maybe she's watching, but you said hi, Tammy. And did you see her, or you just know she was in there or not? I usually see her make a chat. Did I miss something? Let me know, brother. You have blown my mind. It's like saying happy birthday to someone and it's not their birthday, and you go, "Oh, I thought it was your birthday." They're looking at you like you're crazy. Like, "What do you mean happy birthday? It's not my birthday." Of course, you have two birthdays, right? If you're a Christian, you have your natural birthday when you were born, and then you have your one when you was born again, one by the water, one by the Spirit. So 2 birthdays. So it could be that as well. But people will look at you funny. But yeah, what's your favorite? Oh, you see her. You see her. Okay. I didn't. Shame on me. But what's some of your favorite? What's some of your favorite hymns or Christian songs? It could be contemporary. I don't care. It can be a country artist if you like some version of a song that you've done, or they've done, and you sing to it, or you just like it. Throw that in the chat, and give me something that we can talk about here. I'll just keep talking. Preachers don't have no problem talking, but I like getting into a little bit of stuff, and I'm glad we said that. And let's talk about some favorite hymns. Whether if you're not a Christian, that's okay. You may like the song. We're not. It's not per se a church service, but hey, we're always here promoting our faith. Oh, and I did want to say while we're waiting on those maybe to pop in, the 6 pillars of the Cornbread Nation. Go to the Facebook Cornbread Nation. Just join us, and if you're watching, you're really you're really a part of the Cornbread Nation. Breadhead. But we have that side, and we have, I think, around 60 people in that so far. We put some updates there, news and announcements and stuff like that. So become a part of that. But in there, I had put this some weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, if that. I was putting a lot of thought into what is the Cornbread Nation and what does it stand on. And I've said this before. And what is our podcast? We get asked that. What are you doing? What are you about? We had the guy that come in from Texas, right? He said, I don't know what I'm watching, but you guys are funny or whatever. But we do like to have a fun. And so, but we're faith. We're absolutely faith. We're family. We're all about freedom. Absolutely. We stand on the Constitution. We stand for the freedom of these United States. And we're not going to let people that are really communist try to steal the freedom, because they're really talking not freedom, but something else. So we're faith, we're family, we're friends, we're freedom. In the South, we love our foods. We got, and all over the country, all over the world, and we like to have fun. And that's the 6 pillars of the Cornbread Nation. If you can like one or all those, I don't see a problem with liking them all. Be a part of us. We are the Cornbread Nation. Okay. We have a couple of songs that have came in. So Roy, Long Black Train by Josh Turner. I know that song, and I don't know if I've heard his version of it. So Long Black Train, Josh Turner. So I do know the song. So what is it you like about that song? Is you like the way he sings it, or is the messaging in the song a little bit of both? Give me a little bit of that too, Cook. That's good. I like that. Long Black Train. Just if you want to say, you don't have to. But tell me what you like about that. And then we've got Candy. And all caps, she's shouting this one out. She must be singing it right now, doing some praise. I Love the Lord by Whitney Houston. She started out in church. And I know it was a tough end, right? People get into the flesh and get into the world. And it was tough. What a singer. A lot of talent, God-given talent, without a doubt. Started out in church, singing in a choir, singing specials. She talked about that. I Love the Lord by Whitney Houston. You must really like that song. I mean, you just come on. I mean, slamming that in the front porch. If we was on the front porch, I could hear you singing that. So I Love the Lord by Whitney Houston. What a great song. I mean, just the title, I Love the Lord. I love it. I love it when people are out in the public, and we should never be ashamed of our Lord and Savior. And people say something, they just say, well, I love the Lord. I love the Lord. And they don't back off, and we shouldn't back off of that. I love the Lord. Absolutely. We have faith, and we love our Lord and Savior. So Cook says, the message. Amen, brother. The message. There's a lot of different songs that I really like when I think about Christian songs, hymnals. I will say I'm kind of all over the place in my likes. In church, I'm a traditionalist. I really like the hymns. I don't mind some other things, but I like choirs. I would rather hear a choir sing than anything. I love to hear choir singing. In fact, on our Sunday morning, I'm going to get some choir singing to. It may happen this week, and just it kind of come in with that going on. I always love to sing in a choir. I'm not a singer. You don't have to be. I know you get. There's some churches you got to try out. Okay, I get it. They've got it's like they're in heaven already. They've got these amazing choirs, these amazing voices, and they're all in pitch perfect tune, and they know how to come in and they practice and all that. I never got that. I was always in churches that said, everybody that will come to the choir. And then they make the second appeal. Oh, come on, everybody that will come on to the choir. And sometimes in the church, everybody comes to the choir literally, and you're looking at empty pews. That's okay. And we just start singing and have church up in the choir. I remember one time we were speaking at a church down in Florida, and me and Lynn, my wife, we'd never been to this church before. And they said, everybody that will, come to the choir. And you know what? Just out of habit. And because we come to worship. It don't matter that I'm there to speak on missions or whatever. We came to worship. So we just jumped up. We ran up to the choir, and I'm standing up there with the guy. And it didn't hit me, because I'm used to that. It didn't hit me till I got up in the choir that, this might be one of those choirs where you got to try out for it. And I looked at the guy, and this guy beside me, he's looking at me like, hey, I've never seen you before. And they didn't know who I was. And so he hands me a book, and I said, hey, if I'm not supposed to be up here, I don't want to mess y'all up. We'll sing low or we'll sit down. He goes, no, you're welcome. He gave me that good Christian welcome. And then I was thinking, am I even going to know the songs they sing? And one of them I didn't, but we hung in there. But then they sung some we did. But what was funny is while the choir sung a song or whatever, and the pastor's looking for me. He's looking all around like, where'd they go? And he's up there. He was making a couple of announcements. And he said, we're going to have the choir sing. And he looks and he said, we've got special guests today, brother, sister. And he looks and he said, where did they go? And I'm up there in the choir, and we're kind of waving. He can't see us. And all the people in the congregation that didn't come to the choir, they're pointing. And he looks back and he goes, there you are. And it really touched him that we came to the choir. Like, I don't think he ever seen that as a guest. They just come on in the choir. And we had a great time, but I've always done that. I've led choir. And again, I'm not a song leader, but you know what? When you're worshiping the Lord, don't worry about it. Just do it. I would love to sing in a choir. Well, amen, sister, do that. Get in a choir, and they're great. You know what? It's just great. And I remember when you serve in a small church, you do a little bit of everything if you're willing. Some people are like, oh, don't call on me. By necessity, you do a little bit of everything. I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything. I'm a shy person by nature. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but I'm a very extremely shy person. I have overcame that by the Lord. And I guess you get older and you don't think about it as much, but I'm still shy, very much so. And and when the first times for me getting up, and I remember Lynn shy, and I told you that. So I remember when a couple of things here I'll tell you about me, but I want to go back to Lynn. When we first went to church, we'd been out of church for a while. Shame on us, but we did. It's part of our story. And that's part of my testimony. Anyway, we went to my home church. There's a lot to that story. Amen, brother. Cook knows. He knows, but he knows, but he knows. Well, bless your heart. I can't tell. I'm very shy. Sometimes you'll see my face turn red when I'm getting a little embarrassed. I'm like, oh, Sometimes, I'll say this. He's not here. Rob's at the beach. Sometimes where Rob's going, I don't know where he's going. I'm thinking, oh, no, I don't know. I don't know how to respond to this. He catches me off guard. That's what makes us so fun together is we're a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you bring it all together, and we're great friends, brothers in Christ. And it gets a little crazy. But anyway, Lynn would go to the choir. We got in church. Lynn would go to the choir because they'd say, everybody come to the choir. And she tried to sit out there and like, come on up, sister. So she'd go to the choir and she'd move her mouth, but nothing came out. Like she didn't. She was afraid to sing, and they were looking at her like, you have such a soft voice. I didn't even hear you sing. And what they didn't know was she wasn't. She was just moving her mouth. And it embarrassed her, but she kept coming on up. She kept coming on up, and now we go to church and get in the choir. She sings. Now she wouldn't do a solo. She's not doing that. You can forget that. Um, amen. But anyway, so here I am. I'm this shy guy, and the first thing that they did. Thank you for saying that. The first thing they did was one on a Wednesday night. They said, "Brother David, would you lead testimony service?" I'm here to serve. I tell the Lord whatever. So I go up there. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I get up there, and I thought I'm supposed to testify. So I started testifying. My knees are knocking and everything. And I think they just like, wow, this guy. And I testified for as long as I could. And I was like, it was a mercy look, like, help me. And the pastor says, anybody else got a testimony? And after they started going around the room, I went, oh, I was supposed to lead the testimony. Like, it was okay for me to testify, but what they really wanted was somebody to come up and get people to testify. So I went, oh, I can do that. So they were like, well, you never seen a guy like this. So so yeah, you have things like that happen. But I'm up in the choir. I got comfortable singing. I didn't get on the front row. I'm a deeper voice a little bit, but I get on back. And then one day, my pastor, actually a good friend of mine, very very dear friend of mine, said, "Hey, I want to ask you something." He said, and actually the Lord had really dealt with me about doing more. And he said, have you ever thought about leading the choir? And I'm like, no. Well, I said, well, actually, yes, but a little bit, because I was like hedging. And anyway, he said, well, the pastor might ask you. I just want to let you know so you can be praying about it. I didn't want it to be a big surprise. So I'm like, oh, no, that really scared me. So I'd forgotten about it. A few weeks went by, and all of a sudden the pastor calls me to like the very back, behind by the baptistry, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm in trouble now. What have I done? And he gets back there and he starts out and he's telling me some stuff I won't mention because he talked about some stuff that was really close to his heart. And he's with the Lord now. And it was comical in a lot of ways, although he was being very serious. He was dead serious about some stuff that he was sharing just personally with me. But he said, he was proud of me and where I had come from and what I was doing. And he said, I need somebody to fill in lead the choir sometimes. Could you do that? And I said, sure. I don't know a lot of songs, but I'm willing to learn. And I think I only knew 5. So I remember one night I got real embarrassed. We were singing, what was it? It'll hit me in a minute. The Cloudless Day. What is that song? That's not the name of it, but you know what I mean. For those that know the songs, and I butchered it. I led it really bad, and I got really embarrassed, and I just ended it. We didn't get to the end. I got to the end of one of the stanzas, and I just ended it. I said, now we're going to something else. And I remember the same guy I was telling you about, a very close friend. He goes, we're not going to finish the song. And I said, no, we're not. We're going to the next song. And he said, okay. But I was just mortified. I didn't lead it right. I just didn't. I got nervous and I butchered it, as they say, but I worked on it. And then an amazing thing happened, which really scared me more. It's the Lord setting things up. Pastors get led away. And the pastor ended up leaving the church. He felt led that his time had been there for years, really hated that. Well, guess what? A lot of pastors' wives are the piano player. We had another guy, the Lord always prepares. He had played piano years before. He had just started practicing again. So here we are, the new, shy, scared to death song leader who knows about maybe 8 songs by now that I feel comfortable with, and the new piano player who played before. And you know what we did? We just supported each other. And there were times that he messed up and he'd say, I'm sorry. And he'd have to find his key. And we would do practices, but we'd get there early and we'd go through some songs before service. And we got used to each other. She was really good about covering up mistakes. She was one of those. And if you're a piano player, you know what I mean. They just know how to change the tempo. They save you. Well, he only knew one way to play the song. So if I messed up, it messed him up. Or if he messed up, it messed me up because I wasn't good at doing that at that time. But over time, and what was you saying there? Live and learn. Yeah, we grew in it. And they would never have asked us to be on the Billy Graham evangelistical team up front leading it, but that's okay. I don't need to be. It was good. It was good enough for Jesus, good enough for our church. And it was right down the line fine. And if I went in that church today and I said, Brother Dave, would you come up and lead the choir? Absolutely. Let's do it. Again, stepping up for the Lord. Later on, I became a teacher. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I taught. A few years later, was set aside to be a deacon, was a deacon for a while. And then, can you imagine? I don't know how this ever happened. God, I thought he surely made a big mistake, but he called me to preach. And so, we're just keeping on, then did some missions. And, anyway, we're just talking about my experiences, your experiences. So how many of you, or is any of you that pop in here, have you sung a solo in church or sung in the choir? Or play an instrument and played in church? Has anybody here done that? I do not play any instruments. I have tried. I do have a guitar that's close to me right here. I have 2 different guitars, and I have dedicated myself that I'm going to learn that, and I have worked on some chording, but just enough for church. And I'm not going to give up, but I'm nowhere near ready for church. But make a joyful noise. And I know that some churches don't use instruments and they just use the voice. That's fine. However you worship in music or whatever, that's great. And that doesn't bother me a bit, but I do love some, instruments in there. Cook says I never have. Never sung in a choir either, brother. You talked about visiting my church again. We're going to have some choir singing. We'll get you to come up. I don't know if you could fit in our choir, brother. It's really tight. I don't know why. It's really tight. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's hard for me to get in there, but we'll find a place. It's really tight choir. It's long, but it's really narrow. Us big old boys, we have a hard time with that. But sometimes we don't. We do choir. We're one of those. We clean out most of the congregation. There's some that won't come up, but they do like to sing. So Cook, never know. All right, I would love to, but I can't sing. As Cook said, make a joyful noise. You know what? Just sing, and it'll be fine. I do know. Okay, here we go. I lead song service at church, and I'm trying to learn piano. I did know that about you. I didn't know about leading the song service at church, but I did. Rob said you were practicing piano. Amen. There was a time when there was no shortage of piano players because a lot of girls and boys practiced piano, took piano as children, and sometimes grew up in the church, and you just sort of naturally became. The first thing we lost was organ players. A lot of churches don't have anybody that plays the organ, but now churches some of them are paying people to come and play the piano. They don't have anybody, and or they're using. They don't use no piano, or they have backing tracks or whatever. There's a whole segment of that for churches that don't have that. But it's if you have a piano player nowadays in a small church, you are so blessed. And if you have more than one, you have an abundance of riches. I'm going to tell you. And we're blessed at our little small, wonderful little church to have a piano player. And she doesn't think she's good, but she is. I think the church might have even sent her when she was for lessons when she was young, and she learned and she plays. So, amen. We pray for you in that. It's a blessing to have. I love the piano in the church. I love that. A little acoustic guitar. I like that. I'm good with some things. There's some that do a lot more than others, but I'm good. I'm a traditionalist for the most part. And people sing to the CDs, and I've done that, or we used to say tapes. So we still have the ability to do that, I think, at our church with our system. But CD now, one of the churches I had, somebody donated a laptop, and we put all of it on there, and that was great. That really built up our sound room. We need to do that at the church I'm at. We've got some decent equipment. We need to get better. And sometimes when you turn on the system, they say they've got some problems with the speaker. So we're going to work on that. But yeah, leading service. So, what, let's see here what Jen says. We are blessed to have one piano player at our church. Well, amen. You are blessed, because I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of them that do not have piano players, and they're worth their weight in gold. They really are. And I love to hear that. You know what I love? And I love it when you go into the church and you, the piano player or the people that play the instruments, they just play before the service starts. I love that. Some people will pop in a little music, just the music part. It might be some hymns or something like that. And I love that. I think that it's a preparatory to the heart to get you ready for the service. The songs are always, it's worship, it's praise, it's getting you ready for the word. And that starts at the beginning. And I love that when when you can hear the instruments playing as you pull up and you're getting ready to go in, that's a blessing. And you go in, you shake hands, you're greeting people, and the service gets started. It's just a natural flow. I love that. And, and then you have some choir singing or congregational singing, and then some, we're blessed in our church now to have several that will sing, and that's not always the case. So, I kid with one of the ladies. She doesn't think she can sing and never says, I can't do a special. Every other Sunday I'll say, did you have one? I said, one day she's going to flog me, but she takes it all in good stride. And I said, the day you come up here, I'm going to fall over. Never say never. You never know. But I love the preparatory. Now, again, and some churches really work on this if they know. By the way, that song leader, Jen, you talked about my song leader, and I've done that. If the song leader's just coming in and they have no idea what they're going to do, that's a fail. That's a fail. I'm not talking about pre-planning the service. What I'm saying is they should have been in tune with God. And God will, without even knowing what the sermon's going to be, if you're really walking with God and you're praying about it as a song leader, and you're saying, God, give me the songs. Now, some churches will advertise their song a week ahead of time, but I always just listen to the Lord. Now, sometimes people request one or two. That's fine. Sometimes you'll end up singing 10 songs, but it's something on their heart. And so we try to accommodate all that if we can. But the song leader, it shouldn't be a scramble right as they get to church to start, saying what it goes. They should really have an idea. And that's a ministry in itself. It is a ministry in itself to sing, to have songs that God is leading you to touch the congregation with, and should be. And many times, I mean, if God's doing it, it's going to prepare everybody for the sermon, and you'll go, wow, this song and that song and this song fits perfect with that sermon. And the pastor, a lot of times when he just starts hearing the songs, because some of them will say they want to know, or I don't. Okay, that's your ministry. And so I might request one. Well, sometimes I'm going up the mountain. We literally go up the mountain, go to church. I might be hearing something on the radio, or I'm singing a song, I'm humming it, and I really want to sing that today. So I'll go in, whatever he has, I'll say, hey, could you do this one too? And sure, he'll do that. But a lot of times you're sitting there as the preacher or whatever, if you're an evangelist or you're guest preacher or you're the pastor, or one of your preachers in church, but you're listening, you know what the sermon is. And you hear the songs and you're like, oh yeah, perfect. And they don't have an idea of what you're going to preach on. It's just perfect. And it's wonderful to have that, just one mind, one accord, everything's synced up, the Spirit's so, the service, and you just, wow, it's just great. Now, there are those services, and some people may not believe in it, because I'm a firm believer the word needs to be preached. But there has been services where God, as we say, he took over the service. And I have been in services where the preacher never preached. But in the song service, God just really moved on the congregation, and people come forward and got saved. And you had a really long, extended time of prayer and redemption and rededication and testimony. And the preacher just feels like that will keep. And some people may not agree with that, but I've had that happen 3 times, and you just know that you just go with it. You say, join us tonight or next service. You may get up and read a scripture and just talk about how good God is or something and what we've experienced today in the service. But some people may not agree with that. That's okay. It's okay. It's not. It's between us and the Lord anyway. But I've been in those services, and it was very evident that you just enjoy. You're you're along for the ride. Hopefully taking part. And I'll say this, and on the front porch, and as I said, a lot of churches have started on the porch. But I say this in my Sunday morning devotion, and we'll switch up gears here. But go to be a blessing. Go to be a blessing. Seek to be a blessing. And even if you don't feel like it, try to bless somebody, and you'll just see how that helps somebody along the way. So, yeah. So appreciate you pumping those song titles in there, talking about instruments that you play or trying to play or never played or never sang. And the challenge would be to keep stepping out, just keep stepping up and stepping out for the Lord and doing some things for Him. And just let God use you, However, there's no shortage of things to be done. And there's a role for everybody. I believe that. So, yeah, enjoy the talk here. Enjoy the talk on this Friday night. Appreciate all of you being in here. And Jen, I just want to know, how did you not get to go to the beach? I guess you got to work or something, but that's awful nice of you. I don't know if my wife would be like, I want to go. That's awful nice of you to be at home and take care of things on the home front while he's down at the beach. But that's awesome. But I didn't know if y'all were, I think even Lynn asked me, is Jen going to the beach? I said, I don't think so, but I didn't ask. So if she's still listening, maybe she'll pop in there and say something. But hopefully you got a vacation on deck as the weather cools down. I think we're going to try to go to the mountains sometime in September or October, probably more like October. Get up to the mountains. We like going up to the Pigeon Forge area, Gatlinburg, that area. We like to do that. It's not that far for us, although it's still like 2.5 hours. But to go to the beach would be a lot longer than that for me. So we go there and enjoy the beauty of the mountains, and what a blessing. Let's see. Oh, okay. I get it now. Rob loves the beach. I'm more of a mountain gal. And if I remember right, and I may be dead wrong here, West Virginia? Isn't there a background with you and your folks maybe from West Virginia or Virginia or something like that? I love mountains. I do like the beach, but I don't really like to get in the water. I'll swim in the pool. You don't know what all that stuff. You don't know what's in there. And honestly, I don't get into that much. When I go, I just walk the beach, get my feet wet, and it's getting where it's hard to find a good beach where it's not overcrowded and they got stuff going on that you don't care for. Nowadays, you got they're getting real restrictive on things you can set up. There's something. One of my friends was telling me this, and they have the police riding up down. They got on to him. I was fixing to fine him, give him a ticket. They had to run to Walmart and get something they allowed, or they have those there and they charge you a lot of money for the rent of it for the day, and it just gets so blistering hot. So most people like to go find a shady spot and do that. Okay, folks live in West Virginia for years. I'm from Chat. Go Chattanooga. We appreciate Chattanooga and the Chattanooga Choo Choo. But I do love the mountains. I remember when I was out in the panhandle of Texas, and they said, "Oh, we can't stand the mountains. How do you see where you're going?" I'm like, "Well, I love it. I love to look at the mountain." Now, I will not say that I love to get on narrow mountain roads or I don't know where I'm at and it's foggy. I don't think I'd like that, but I love the mountains. Be on top, looking out, look up at the mountain, whatever it is. Those are great things, and we're surrounded here by the mountains. So I don't think there's any mountains near where you're at now, though, Jennifer. I don't think. Is there anything within range that you can go to the mountains? That's flat down there. There may be a small one somewhere that you could travel to, maybe over in Alabama. Get over there, find you a mountain. I like it. What is that song? High on the Mountain. Yeah. Was that Vince Gill? Played a lot of funerals, right? I'm sure everybody in here has heard that one before. Go rest high on the mountain, or on that mountain, or something like that. Beautiful. He's got a beautiful voice. Started out in the Pure Prairie League, and then has done a lot of different kinds of things. Tremendously talented. Definitely blessed. I do too, cook. I love the Smokies. It's beautiful. Love it. I'm not a hiker. I've done some hiking a little bit, not professional, not like people get today. I just did some hikes, but that's not my gig. And now that I'm getting older and my knee's bad and it hurts, I'm looking to ride up as close as I can in park and get out and look at the beauty. So, if you hike, amen. That's some people's thing, and I get it. Very nicely said. The mountains are so peaceful. It is flat here. I do enjoy the open spaces too. Georgia's just, we've talked about this on the podcast. Georgia's just blessed for having so many different things, from mountains to flats to beaches to swamps, farmland. The very, big city. You can find it all in Georgia, and there are other states. I love the beauty of many of the states and what they offer. Tennessee, they've got a lot of mountains, obviously beautiful areas. Of course, West Virginia, that Shenandoah Valley. There's not hardly a prettier place on God's green earth. Love the Shenandoah Valley. In between those two mountains and ranges, it's beautiful. South Carolina, North Carolina, I've drove in both of those. A little bit more in North Carolina, and got to drive up in the mountains up there around Black Mountain, up in that area. That's where my family really kind of came through that area. I think I've said on here before that we were traveling through, and I kept looking at Black Mountain, and I said, one day I'm going to get off there because it's in Buncombe County. And I said, my family, and looking back at my genealogy, they eventually settled in Buncombe before they came on south. And of course, had moved off, whenever they came in the country, that's where they came in at North Carolina and ended up there. One day we had time. I pulled up Chamber of Commerce there at Black Mountain, if you've ever been there, and walked in and just sort of told the lady, my family originally was from there. And she asked me my name, and I told her, and she said, hello, cousin. She got married, but her maiden name was Cordell. And I said, wow, just pulled off the interstate, and somehow we'd be distant kin. We didn't know exactly how, but that's a beautiful, beautiful area. But unfortunately, a lot of those mountain areas are being taken over by, well, I'll be nice, so just different kinds of people. And they don't play well. They do things they shouldn't in some areas, and it's a problem. We got the Chinese taking over the farmland and their military installations, and we've got other things going on that shouldn't go on. And I had a friend that was ministering in a place in New Mexico. I'm not going to name the town because I don't want to. I think he's still there. I don't want to cause him any trouble. And he said it was a very hard town to minister. Very, very hard town to minister, and that they stuck it out. But the locals they don't like outsiders at all, and so they gave them a really hard time. And it's a mountainous area, and the place is filled with people that are into really odd things. I'll just say ungodly things, because that's what they are. And they hated him, and they did things in front of their church that they planted. They tried every which way in the world to stop them. They had a little bit of violence done toward them. And he said it had been tough. I met him at a missions conference in the Midwest. And we kept up for a while. I still see his posts from time to time. And, but he talked about how tough it was there. I mean, it's an odd place. You're talking about people on the mountain ready for aliens to come. These are that kind of people. And he said it was really, really hard there, but they made their mark. They started reaching some people. Alcoholism was really bad, and drugs in that area. People were into, all sorts of strange things. There were no churches. They didn't want the gospel there at all. And God bless him. God sent him there, and he established a church. It was a slow go. They just slogged it out and kept praying and kept putting one in front of the other. And they tried to stop them every which way in the world from buying property. They don't want outsiders to own. It's very, we got it. We don't want you here kind of thing. You can run into that around the country. It's tough, but if God sends you, He's going to make a way. So it was a beautiful place, absolutely beautiful. And I hope that's not exactly the same way now, but a few souls have been rescued out of that. I can say that over the last many years that he's been there. But you may have that kind of thing, and our countries has places like that where it can be very very different. You ain't from around here. Where'd you come from? I guess we can all have a little bit of that in our communities when people come in that are very different. We learn the world is much bigger than we are, and people come from all over the place, and they they're just different folks, and we just have to take them for what they are, and appreciate them, and be neighborly, and hope they'll be neighborly back, and try to reach out and be a good neighbor, and win them over. I was talking to a guy that this is in Tennessee, and it was really hard for him to. He had some Amish neighbors, and they're very close. In a lot of ways, they love to say the stuff, but they're closed. I understand that, but and he couldn't really get any inroads into really making friends with any of them. But his neighbor, their livestock got out, and so him and his boys saw it. They went back. They went and helped to get them corralled up, and it really touched this family, and so they had them in for a dinner, and that led to them then inviting them to their house for dinner, and they started doing their farms were side by side, so they started doing some things together and became friends. And through this one family, he had started meeting some more of them, and they were able to then sit down and have a conversation about spiritual matters, but first of all, just being good neighbors, becoming friends, sitting down in fellowship over a meal. And they found out, we may believe different, but we're not so different. And that's the key is finding out, really, we're not so different. And in most cases, we got different cultures, different customs, but everybody kind of wants the same things. Most people do, unless they're just some crazy people. But they want to have a safe place to live. They want food. They want to, have fun and have experiences, take vacations, be educated, whatever, the best for their kids. I think every culture wants that for the most part. Makes me wonder those that want their kids to strap on the bomb. That's a whole different story. That's crazy, but I'm talking about most people around the world. That's what they want. I love, no matter where people are from, they love to tell you about their kids. They're proud of them, they want to tell you how their kids are doing it. And I'll tell you another secret, not really a secret. If they've got animals, if you'll talk about their animals, they'll talk to you. They might not even talk to you, but if you'll talk to their animals, just talk to the animals. And that'll get you a conversation with the people. Just talk to their animals, because everybody wants, they're not going to tell you to stop talking to them. If you got to be some kind of a nut. If you're walking your dog or something, and it comes up and says, you just start talking to the dog. Just say, how you doing? And you can tell right away if they're going to talk to you or not. And just start talking to the dog. Notes. She's taking some notes. I don't know what the notes are. She's going to write down all the things. David blew it. Rob, you can't go to the beach anymore. David just blew this program up. So, I'm kidding. But that's, by the way, if you're shy, that's a great way to get to talk to somebody, is talk to the animal. Animals are easy to talk to for the most part. Unless it's a killer animal. Get on your neck, they're holding it back, straining to hold it back. Probably not going to talk to that dog too much. Cross the street. I did that in Atlanta once. I was doing some street evangelism in a Jewish area of Atlanta. Whoever came along, and I went. This guy was coming. He had two dogs, and I talked to. I said hey to him. He just looked at me like I Okay. Amen. So he looked at me like you know, I was I was in his way, and so he had these two German shepherds. So I just started talking to the German shepherds. Hey, how y'all doing? And he couldn't stand it. He said, "What's their names?" Obviously the dog can't tell me. I might even say, "What's your name?" That forced him to talk. Well, this dog is this, and this dog is this. And the way he was saying it, I could tell it was just killing him that he had to say something. And he knows what I'm doing. I mean, I got the shirt on, the tie, and I'm not in a jacket, but okay, this guy's talking about Jesus or something. Probably some kind of nut, religious nut. And so I knew I wasn't going to get but about 5 seconds for this guy, maybe 10. So I knew that there was going to be no chit chat. So I think this is probably the only time I'm going to see this guy on this side of glory. So I went, just said it right out. I said, hey, if when you die, if you'll go to heaven. I got the track in my hand, and he could have knocked me over with what he said. He thought he's being cute, but I had to come back. I'll never forget this. It's on the streets of Atlanta. And he looks at me with this sarcastic look and he goes, I'm in heaven already. And so I just rolled with it. And this is all I got with him, because then he just went around with the dogs and went on. And I just looked up. I said, Atlanta? Atlanta is heaven? It stunned him. He didn't know how to really respond to that. And I said, Atlanta's okay. Not bad at your home. I get it. I like to visit. But I said, I think my idea of heaven is a little bit more than Atlanta. And he just went on. So I hope he's a Christian today and serving, but that's all I got. But I started out talking to the dogs. This guy did not want to talk to me. He's looking at me like I got 3 heads, So yeah, you do what you do. Start talking to them animals. I had a friend, he's a missionary in France, and they couldn't get nobody to talk to him. Americans, they look down at us, silly Americans, and we do act silly when we go over there, but they, sometimes they can be a little uppity. I said it, some, I didn't say all. We saved your country. We got some people buried in graves over there. We put it on the line for you. I'll say that. But so they, there's souls there. We want to win them. Absolutely. We love them. And he said, I couldn't get nobody to talk to me. So they noticed everybody had animals. So they went down to the pet shop and found them a dog they liked. Their wife was looking, for an animal anyway. And so then they walked down the road. Everybody talked to the dog. Hey, how you doing today? What's your name? They wouldn't talk to them. But over time, talking to the animals, talking to the little dog, they'd ask about their dog, and slowly but surely they started getting people to talk to them. So animals, important. I mean, unless you got cats, and I know, Jen, y'all got cats. I don't guess you walk a cat, right? Walk the dog. I don't think you could. First of all, they're not going to go with that collar and chain. That would be a fight. But I don't know. Is there such a thing as a cat that can be trained to just walk along with you? I don't know. That sounds crazy, right? Cat lovers, come on, tell me. Can you, or you just have to carry it? Can you walk your cat? I see people walking a lot of stuff. Maybe put it in the little buggy and push it. I don't know. But if you got a cat, let me know. The water is good tonight, and the coffee. So I'm going to play a couple more commercials, and we're going to come back. We're not done yet. I'm just going to play a couple of quick ones. We'll be right back. Let me get down there to it. I have to close the chat just for a second. So let me look for something I have not played here, and we'll see if we can play something that we didn't play. I'll tell you what, we're going to play. How about this one? And you don't know what that is, but let's talk about this one. I think this is another one we have. Oh, I put up the wrong thing. See, I told you I'm messing up the show right away. I went up too far. Let me get it, or down too far. Let's see. Here we go. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. One of the favorite things that we do is sit out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea and just talk about whatever. That's what you do on the front porch. Wave at the neighbors as they go by, or even a stranger. We're friendly people, and we like to just talk about whatever. You never know what Rob and Dave are going to talk about on the front porch, and sometimes Chris joins us, and then you really don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll laugh a little bit, we'll shock each other, and maybe, just maybe, you'll join in with us and chat with us on the front porch. Join us live for Front Porch Talking each Friday night at 7 p.m. That's your friends here at the Southern Fried Podcast. Hey, here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we've got a new morning show. Well, it's actually the same show, but we added a day. We're now on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6 a.m., and we go till about 7, maybe a little after if we're having a really good show, and we just want to keep it going for a few minutes, but it's usually about 6 to 7. We hope you join us. And as our tagline says, nobody really wants to get up, but since you're up, grab a cup of coffee and join us. Hopefully we can get you started on your day talking about a little bit of sports or news, have a little laughter. Everybody needs that in the morning, along with that caffeine. And hey, we're trying to get you awake. You might be trying to get us awake. So join in the chat. Let us know what's going on. Sometimes our best programs are from the chats that people tell us some things that are going on, or remind us of some things, or correct us on some things. Hey, all the above. We hope you join us on the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Have a great day in Dixie, and God bless. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter. And I'm back, and I think I knocked out the background on that. That's okay. Get back to your comments in just a second. Appreciate those. There's a couple others. We won't play those tonight, but be looking tomorrow for Pet of the Week to be releasing, and the Veteran of the Week. I really hope that you can catch that, because that's really cool to have when we talk about the veteran. It's very moving. The story is these are hard to get through sometimes, but it is a tremendously it'll touch you as an American, as a patriot. Hope that you can catch that whenever you can. Let's see here. We don't, but some people do. They really do. I did not know that. I really was kind of joking, but I did want to know. And but some people do walk their cats. I did not know that. Thanks for the encouragement. Thank you. You have a good evening too. We're going to go a little longer here. Hang with us. Nothing else. You can look at my Georgia hat and come in the chat, or just listen to me banner on and talk about some things. Again, we're deep in a Friday and a weekend. I used to love when I was I'd go to Atlanta on Friday evenings, and the 96 Rock down there would play. At 5 o'clock, they would start these series of songs that they would play. And those songs, they were good songs, but what got me excited was it was like you had officially entered the weekend. It was cool. And I can remember just going down 75, headed to wherever we were headed at, and I'd be getting right into town about those songs were hitting. And I forget what they were now, but it would do it the same series, like 3 or 4 little things right in a row on Friday night. And you had officially entered your weekend. Now, some people have to work. I do work on Saturday some. Man's got to do what a man's got to do, right? That come from a movie, right? Man's got to do what a man's got to do. But you got to work, or a woman, and we got to support ourselves, and sometimes you got to work. So there's people working all weekend long. We think of our first responders. We think of hospital folks, security, factories, people that just, they work all the time. And we're all trying to make a living and make it through this thing called life. And hopefully one day, what's that word? Retire? I don't know if I'll ever get there, but can you retire? I don't know. It's getting harder for Americans to find a way to retire. and they're working themselves to the grave, honestly. And hopefully you can find time in the later years to take time to travel, see places you haven't seen, slow down a little bit. Sometimes that's decided for us by health reasons. And that's just life. And hopefully sometimes we check it out. I'm glad I'm still here to have another Friday night with you on the front porch. It's good to be here with you. I'm excited about being here with you. It can be extremely sad. I mean, I've visited the funeral home 2 or 3 times here recently. And some dear friends I didn't always get to see, but we'd had a lot of history together, a lot of friends, and they're just gone, and it's tough. But we're still here. So if we're living, be about the living, reach out to the living, and try to encourage somebody through their day. Rob, I think, will be back Sunday evening sometime. I don't know if he'll be able to join us or not. He's going to be wore out. Hopefully he don't get sunburned. I noticed he had that shirt on. Good for him. Hat on. Good. Don't need that head getting all red. Have a good time. Be refreshed. You'll probably be worn out too. You travel like that, you get a little worn out. Come back and get some rest. We'll kick it Monday morning. I did want to say on that commercial, it is true Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. However, if Dave is up and he's had his coffee and everything's good, I'm doing early devotion. Sometimes I'm popping in on Tuesday or Thursday. And I did pop in Thursday for a little bit this week. It's not going to be every time, but occasionally, or it might be a crazy. If I can't sleep in the middle of the night, I might just get on. You won't be up maybe, but somebody across the time zones might be. If I got something I want to say or just see who's out there and see what they've got to say, may jump in. So those are set times we do that, but we have other things we've got to do as well with our lives and stuff. So, but sometimes we work it out, We do specials every once in a while. We did a Sunday night front porch. We were all talking strategy and different things, and we said, "Hey, let's just why are we sitting here wasting all this chatter? Let's go online." So we did for about an hour 15, something like that, and got back out. So we do that. Again, I want to announce our merch store is available. It's certainly linked on the Facebook page. Posted those links on the Cornbread Nation page. I think I did. I'm not sure if I got in the YouTube. Chris will take care of that. I'm not sure where to post that on the YouTube other than just putting in something. It's out there on some of the other ones. We're working that out, but you'll be seeing ads about that as well. We'll be talking in some of the lives and coming in and showing you some of the stuff. There's a lot of different items. They worked hard. We've all came up with ideas on things we want. And there's different kinds of things, but even within those, whether it's a shirt or a hat or whatever, there's a lot of variables, a lot of things, color, how you like it, placement, all that stuff. It'll take you a little time to go through. I can tell you that I am buying a coffee mug soon because I'm a coffee mug, and and a hat. Definitely want a hat. So give it a look if you can. If you can, don't worry about it if you can't. We're not concerned about that, but it has a lot of work. Whenever people ask about that kind of stuff, and we want to offer it. So, and then we can do trades with people like Angie at Decatur Diner. We'll trade merch. I do have her mug. I don't have it with me. I have it at work, and I drink out of it sometimes at work. Tonight it's the John Wayne mug for those that didn't get to see. Oh, yes. What's your favorite John Wayne movie? If you like John Wayne, somebody are going to go, oh, I kind of like John Wayne. But do you have a favorite John Wayne movie? So some like just only the Westerns, some like the war movies, some like some of the other things he did. But what's your favorite? If you want to mention Clint Eastwood too. But I got the John Wayne. What's your favorite John Wayne movie? Some of them I have seen countless times, dozens. If they're on, I'm watching them. You can even say that tonight. If there is a movie that your channel changing, flipping around, and you see it's on, no matter where it's at in the movie, you're going to stop and watch a good part of it, or maybe the rest of it. What is that movie? I've got a number of them, and I'm an old school guy. I don't like a lot of new stuff. There's a lot of old movies that I like, and they're old. And when I some of them, I used to think they weren't that old. Now I'm thinking, yeah, they are. That was a long time ago. There's a handful of new movies, like I mentioned, the one we went and seen last night. I would watch that if it was on TV. I would stop and watch it because it's good. But is there something that you watch regardless if it's on? Be it an action movie, Western, love story, or something crazy, hardcore like The Godfather. I've seen The Godfather, I bet 100 times or more. And that's not all of them. The first one for sure, more than 100 times. Second one, probably about 80 least. Third one, about a third of that. So I didn't see it as much. But if it's on, they have those Godfather trilogy, they show them all. I'm watching them. Unless I just am busy and can't. I'll catch some of it. I don't know why. I just like it. Crazy, ain't it? But yeah, with John Wayne, Rio Bravo. Oh, yeah. I'm watching Rio Bravo. That's one of my favorites. So, but I do like a lot of his movies. Strangely enough, and I know it's a really good movie, and I have watched most of it. I really have never seen it. I don't really watch The Quiet Man. I know it's a legendary movie, but that's not my gig. I like the actors in it, but it's not my movie. But I like a lot of John Wayne. The Duke, baby. Watch that. Like a lot of Clint Eastwood. He's got some that if they came on. I love Josie Wells. Thumbs up. I'm watching it. Absolutely. Outlaw Josie Wells. Somebody mentioned that here. It was a Tar Man. He was talking about the cat law Josie Wells or something. Was talking about the cats the other night. By the way, that Wednesday night, we do give a little sports and stuff, but mainly we got into these weird and odd stories. It's midweek. We're trying to get through the week. So we've been crazy stories about cats and different animals and different things going on. That's kind of what we're doing on Wednesday nights and just laughing a lot. And that's great. It's great to do. Great to laugh. I hope you like to laugh, because if you're watching this, you can at least laugh at us, or you can just find some reason to laugh at something we're saying. Sometimes the best things come in the chat. We go off on it and we just laugh ourselves silly about all these things that we see going on, and then have our twisted minds. We start putting things together in it and we'll make fun of it. That makes for the best show. And so if we do that, and the funnies and the morning funnies through the week, sometimes I'm just laughing at Robert. I can't even think about the funny I'm going to do. And I thought at first, maybe you should just do these. I did have fun with them too, but I don't even know how we came up with that, but you're one of us. But we got into that. We've been doing that for weeks now. And those hit really hard on some of the couple of streams. We just put the shorter material on. Either the devotion or the funny will go crazy and we'll get hundreds of views. And then sometimes they do nothing. Sometimes they go crazy. Sometimes it's both of them or none of them or one of them. But usually on one of them, the funny goes just hundreds of views, and then the other with the hundreds of views on the devotion. So you just never know what people are looking for. But I'm just glad they like something. I was talking to a lady today, and I don't think she's listening. She's probably home in bed now. She says, I watch you guys on the way to work. That's the only time I see you. I'm just riding along listening. I love listening, and I love what you do. She catches many different shows, they're recorded or whatever. She said, I love everything you do. So thank you so much for that. That's a real blessing. I see some coworkers come in, and I appreciate that. I don't talk about it too much at work. I'll mention that I'm doing it. I don't try to go around and tell people, hey, watch, that's not my role. But some of my friends and some people that know have found out that I'm doing it, and we're glad to have you. Some people say, what you trying to do that thing? Or they'll say, hey, I love everything you're doing. So, or maybe they'll say, I'm not going to say it. Maybe they hate everything we're doing, but that's okay too. You can't please everybody. But I think we've got enough different kinds of programming that people would like something that we're doing. And so, Sunday night talking about the election and MAGA, that might not be your thing, or it might be your thing. Morning funnies, not for everybody, or devotion, not for everybody, but there's somebody for everything we do. And we've had that comments come back to us that they do like it. And I appreciate all of you that watch a lot of what we do, that come in the lives. The lives have really boosted our viewing, our minutes and hours in the different streams. And just thankful so much. And we have 4 main ones that are going out. We had to pull the Twitch down. We're having some trouble with it. I'm working on it. We'll get it back up, and we're hoping to have another one we can put up soon that will be live streaming as well. But we are live streaming on Facebook and X and YouTube and Rumble. Rumble's really come on in the live streams, and we've had several come in. In fact, this morning we had was it this morning, or what are you guys? I don't know what I'm watching. From Jersey Shore to now living out in Texas. Appreciate you listening in, friend. He said he liked Dan Bongino. Hey, I like Dan Bongino. He's very interesting to listen to. I know Tarman, he talked about Charlie Kirk, and he mentioned somebody else, and I don't remember who he mentioned, but all of them I like. It's hard to find the time to listen to all the stuff that you like. I like stuff too, and so we are creating, but I also listen. There's one out of Blue Ridge I listen to when I have time. In fact, I may go in there when I get off here tonight and watch today's show that they had. I miss it sometimes. There's some small ones I like, all over the spectrum of different things I like. And so just finding the time. There's only so many hours in the day, but we appreciate the time that you're giving. Time is valuable, and we know that. And we appreciate whatever time that you give us in the Southern Fried Podcast. We're coming up on, I guess, let's see, we're working on our 4th month, and the growth has been incredible. In fact, today we just picked up a lot of followers on Facebook. Thank y'all so much. If you see this, just jumped today quite a bit, and we appreciate that. And we've had some followers on X and Rumble, and a little bit on YouTube. It's climbed a little bit, and we're hoping to see that explode here before long. And just keep hanging there with us. We're not going anywhere unless the good Lord takes us on. Somebody can take over the controls, but we're going to keep on going, and we're loving what we're doing, and excited about what we're doing, and appreciate the support of our wives and the part they play. And my wife watches a lot of what we do. Tries to watch all of it she can. I appreciate you, Jen, coming in. You come in, comment, and watching, supporting, giving constructive criticism. We need that sometimes. But yeah, Cook and Tarman and Daniel, all those folks that jump in. Appreciate another coworker I seen. He come in again tonight. Appreciate you, Terry. Appreciate you coming in and listening a little bit. I know you work today, I'm sure. Or maybe he was off today. I don't remember what shift, but I appreciate you. I know you work hard, man. And we're getting up. Our bodies are tired. We're going to walk on that concrete, and working with your hands, and this heat, and it's been tough. And we get older, and it's tough. It's tough to sit and listen to anything. You feel like just going to bed, not getting out of bed. But hey, some people may just rest and listen that way too. Nowadays, ain't it neat? You can cast things up on your TV, or you can have your phone, or your iPad or whatever, and put in your Bluetooth and go walking, or walking that dog, or hey, even walking that cat we talked about. And you can listen to podcasts. And we're now on Apple Podcasts, which is a listen, but we're also on Spotify, and you can see the videos there. That's very new for us. And so we're loading up all the things most of the things. There's a couple of things we don't load up there. YouTube and Facebook get everything, and then most of it goes up on the Apple and Spotify, and then some of them just in Parler and Truth and Getter. And I don't want to bore you with all those things, but we're trying to be on as many different things as we can just to get our brand out there, and grow, and just have fun with more people. We're looking to go to some festivals, some events in the next few months. Some of those are going to be a hoot. Some of them, maybe more serious. Labor Day's coming. I'm going to try to get down to one that's local, and might even try to do some quick interviews, man on the street kind of thing. So there's some local things that's going on here in your community. Maybe there is. Get out and take part, support small business, community, meet people. I'll be off work that day. I try to grill out, but I think early on I might do the grilling early, and then try to get down and meet some people, or vice versa, and get down and I want to interview some people about some topics and something we can air on these programs, and get the man on the street ideas about stuff, whatever that is. We may talk politics, we may talk dog or cat, we may talk about music or whatever, but when one of the festivals comes, we're going to talk about spooks, the green eyes, the old green eyes, those spooky monsters, out there. And do you believe in them or not? I'll try to get some of that. So, or do you believe in the paranormal? Do you believe in, haunted houses and haunted barns and stuff like that? Just having fun. So everybody's got a beliefs in something. Do you believe in UFOs, unidentified flying objects? Certainly we do, because there's some things we can identify. Do you believe there's little green men or beings. I don't know if they'd be men. I would say little green men. Would it really be just green? Would it even be described as men? Or would it be green creatures? A lot of people have Area 51, right? What's that Area 51? Roswell. Do you get into that kind of thing? Do you pay attention to it? Um, do we believe our government's doing some stuff that's making us think that? There's all kinds of stuff out there. You believe in the chemtrails? You believe the chemtrails? Hey, it's talking about different things. What do you believe in? What do you believe about COVID? What do you believe about monkeypox? What do you believe? Everybody's got opinions, and we can talk about those things and put them on there. Well, we have reached the 10 o'clock hour, and on the Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to end this program. And sorry for the rough start. We had a good start, then we had to stop, and then we had to get started again. So we'll load both of those up. Well, so they were live. They'll just load up on some of them. But appreciate you being here. Thanks for all the ones that come in the chats. I enjoyed those conversations about songs and church and all that. And thank you for hanging in with us. Look for the programming tomorrow and throughout the weekend. Have a great weekend. Rob, enjoy the beach. He deserves it. And he'll be back in here with lots of stories. He'll probably come in with some more video tomorrow, I'm sure, that we can talk about and show. Hoping to get some underwater stuff. That would be cool. If we can't, though, I'm good with those things. We talk about, those beach scenes and stuff, and it just makes you wish you were there, right? So appreciate that. But let's get out of here. Good night. God bless. Appreciate all of you that hung in there with us and are supporting us. Have a great weekend. Reach out to somebody this weekend that you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe give them a text, phone call, email, something, and just let them know that you're thinking about them. That'll mean a lot to them. And they may just need that. Lord, put somebody's name on your heart. I hope you have a good day at church on Sunday. Hope you go. If you can't go, worship from home. Pray for us. We'll look for us Sunday morning. We'll get into the Word for a little bit, and we appreciate those that's coming about it. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.